everybody, it's Mich here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, thanks for stopping by. I hope you come back for more. And if you are returning, welcome back. And I'm so happy to see you all, and I appreciate that you're here with me today. I am going to be doing another page in the Junk Journal July series. If you have been watching along, then we've done all these pages up to today, which is day 10. The challenge is set by Meg Journals. She did set a list of prompts, one for each day of the month for July. And then just to add my own little twist, I've added a keyword in which I have been doing some affirmations around. So today is it's day 9, sorry. As day 9, it is scraps, and my word is kindness. So a lot of things to do with scraps isn't really new, such as making master boards that we can then use as backgrounds or tags, journal cards, etc. So I thought I would do something different, and I do have to forewarn you that if you're not a fussy cutter, you might not like this one. But it's something that I often do around Thanksgiving and Christmas time with the little truck image, the little red truck. I often do this kind of technique with those stamps. But you take a stamp, and for today's video I've used one by Woodware. I absolutely love their stamps. And I've also used my stamping platform. And the reason that I've used the stamping platform is just so that I know that if the image isn't crisp, I can go back and redo it, and it's not gonna alter or be smudged or what have you. So if you don't have a stamping platform, then that's fine. Then you don't need one. It's hard to get it, restamp it if you don't have one. So I've started with this image, and then as kind of my base. So then what I've done is I've taken all my little scraps and I've looked through them to see about color combinations that I liked, and I then re-stamped the image onto my background scrap paper, if that's making sense. Sometimes I'm not sure if I make sense or not. And this is where I say it's kind of fiddly. So once I've stamped it on my little piece of scrap paper, then I need to cut that out. So then once I've cut them out, then I'm just going to go along and I'm going to glue them over top of my main image so that I'm making, I don't know, I guess a collage in a way of all the little images that were there. So I'm going to start just down here in this corner. And I kind of debated whether I just want it to do down the middles. And I think I will. And then the little leaves will add a little bit of dimension because they'll kind of pop up a little bit. So I kind of like that effect. And then I'm just going to get down my other little flower here, which goes up in there. And if you really don't like fussing cutting, you're probably not going to like this, but I think that if you did attempt it, you'd probably kind of like how it all plays out. And this is what I'm going to do with it afterwards, is I'm just going to create a kind of corner tuck on my journal page. And if you don't like how it kind of flips up, I'm not sure if I'll actually keep it flipped up, but we'll start there. And then just get those bits down. And it's a good little bit of fun. It's something different. If you weren't going to, kind of put it into your journal, you could also put it on a card. It's an interesting way to send a card, because it's sometimes people say, oh, that's cute. And if it's all tacked down, sometimes it takes people a minute to think, oh, how did you do that? And it lines up pretty good, usually. And then we've got our stems and leaves here. And it's not hard to cut out. It's not really challenging. It's just a little fussy. And it does go quite quickly. So you could do quite a few of these if you did Happy Mail with somebody, if you were doing a swap or something. It's kind of fun. For sure. Okay, and then we'll just do the corner here. And you could, if you wanted to, which I didn't in this instance, but once you get all your pieces down, you could then kind of just cut around the frame and then have that so that it's on a different piece of scrap paper. We'll tack those down better. But I was kind of happy that I stamped it on just a piece of scrap lined paper that I had. Okay, so we've got that, and then I wanted to put it in my journal. I then found another piece of scrap paper, which I'm going to I've already put some tape on the far left and at the bottom. The guys just started whippersnippering across the street, so I just hope it's not excessively loud for you guys. Of course, as soon as I start to film, he's got to come out. Okay, so then I thought I would just get that down like so. And to do that, I'm just going to use my runner tape. So my affirmation for today around my keyword kindness is that when I act with kindness, it reflects the best of who I am. The best of who I am. And I think that's so true. I always try to be kind. There are certain people, I guess, that rub you the wrong way, or they don't treat you with kindness. And those are the times I need to just take a deep breath and say, when I act with kindness, it reflects the best of who I am. And I just thought that was a nice message to reflect on. Especially if you kind of struggle. I remember I used to go to do meditation at the Buddha Center. And they used to do this, they probably still do, exercise called the Metta Bhavana. And what the Metta Bhavana is that you just do a little meditation around key things. So one is that somebody you don't really know, you send them out love and kindness. And then somebody that you do know, but that you're struggling with. And somebody that you have a good relationship with. And I remember I was struggling with somebody at work. And I did the Metta Bhavana. And I used her to send out love and kindness. And I felt that maybe it was just my own perception. But I really felt that it made a difference. So the other thing I use my scraps for is just to make a little journal card. And I just took a bunch of my scraps, and then I thought that would fit well to have a little card that you can paste down. If you've gone to a nice restaurant, you could put something branded from them, a piece of the napkin, or if you wanted to put the receipt or a ticket stub, and then you could just journal on the back. You know, I had a great night at Phantom of the Opera. The masquerade scene was so colorful and lively, and I went with so-and-so. And you can also use it to put in some of your own happy mail. So this came from Pam, and I really love that. And you can see in the background that Pam has used a lot of her scraps as well. So I thought that would kind of go good in my little journal. And then just to do a little bit of embellishing, I'll take these out for just now. I just went and got some of my alcohol markers, and I thought that I could just kind of add a little bit more dimension just by coloring in a little bits of the image, just to make it pop a bit. And then some of these markers I got from Stampin' Up, but some are just ones that I picked up at Michael's. They're the Artist Loft kind of brand. And when you add those little details, I really think that it does add a little bit something something. And then the next little part that I just want to test this on something. The only thing with the Artist Loft ones is that the color on the ends doesn't really reflect the color that you're getting. So I usually come home and make a color swatch. Not like the Copic, that I think the Copic, the ends of them do resemble a lot more. Gosh, I hope you don't hear the guy across the street. So I thought that that might add a little something. I don't know if it picks it up on camera, but it kind of defines that a little bit more. And then the other thing I kind of thought about is that I could add stickles, or I could add a dimensional. So the difference between stickles and like a Nuvo drop dimension is that when the stickles dry, this is basically just glitter glue. You can make your own with just glitter and glue. Whereas something like the Nuvo drops, when it dries, it actually still stays rounded and has a bit of dimension. Now there's other things that you can use besides the Nuvo drop, which gives you the same thing. So if you go over to Michael's, they have the fabric paints, which are dimensional. So you can get some fabric paint in the fabric, the t-shirt aisle where there's all their kind of tie-dyed stuff. The other thing that is dimensional is the Ranger dimensional drops. So those are just some options that we have to play with. So when I was thinking about it, I was thinking, do I want a little dimension, or do I just want some bling? And I still haven't been able to answer that question. I think, but the issue with this is that you don't want to do this until you're pretty much finished your page. So the other thing that I did do is I did distress a little bit with the distressed oxides, just my vintage photo. Now I didn't do between each piece, but if that's the look that you like, then just distress before you glue everything down. And once I get it all down, I'm just looking, is there anything else I want to do? I love that postcard too. I love all the postcards that you guys give me. And over my various projects, I really use them, and I just really love looking at them. But I think that's going to be it for today. Amazing that this is a relatively short video. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to use some of the Nuvo drop. And I did try to kind of shake these up a little bit, because this is going to add just a little bit of dimension. So I really like the thought of that. So that's, and this is sparkly. It's like a sparkly copper. Here in Halifax, there really isn't a place that I know of that sells Nuvo drops, but we do have a little, she's called My Stamping Studio in Windsor, Nova Scotia, and she has a lot of selection of the Nuvo drops. And then I kind of thought I liked this Nuvo drop for up the top here, and it will kind of in a way bring the page together, because we've got sort of a dimensional on the diagonals there. And then I'm kind of thinking for these little dots, I'm just going to use the stickles, because this will just dry flat and just be a little bit sparkly. Thank heavens I'm almost done, because that guy's getting closer to my house. And that just, oh, there, he turned it off, thank heavens. And I don't know if that's picking that up, but boys, that really sparkles. Okay, and then, so we just want something down here. So I do have these Nouveau Drops, which is just a light pink. I think that'll work. And then we'll have a little bit of dimension. The other thing that you can use that I'm just totally in love with as well, but it doesn't give the same kind of sparkly, is my Wink of Stella. So I use Wink of Stella a lot, but the thing with Wink of Stella is it isn't as glittery. So, but I could go along and just do some along this frame here. So then when I turn the frame, turn the page, the frame itself will catch the light. Wink of Stella. I just love Stella. Stella, Stella. And then, you know, you could further embellish this if you wanted. You could highlight it, so you could take your markers and just do some highlights on the sides of your flower. So you could just bring that to life a little bit. You want to make sure though that you have a pretty good color that matches quite well, which this one does. And that wasn't really planned. And if there's a bit of your stamping that doesn't, that you're not happy with, instead of keeping stamping, you could also just take one of your little fine liners and just touch up any area. Ooh, I thought for a minute there I put my thumb in that sticky, in those sparkles. And then you could go around and do the other flowers. I don't have a really good match for that one. And just to give it a good effect, you want to stay on the same side of the petal to be consistent. So right now I'm staying on the right hand side of the petal, or the left hand side. Left, left, left. Because then it's more consistent where the light might be coming in. But yeah, so that's our little project for today. I hope you did get inspired with that. And today, when you're going about your day, just think about kindness. The loving kindness that we put out is what we get back. You know, as they say, karma. So until tomorrow, I hope you stay safe and well, and bye for now.